So, puzzle competition number 2. This is the map that I built, that you had 1 week to submit the best times on, and today we will see who drove... Really mad. Who figured out the best route and sent in the fastest time. Here we go. So, this is the layout that I gave you. Very interesting layout. If you don't know what puzzle is, basically, you have a map right here that is unfinished. This is the map that I give you guys, and it is unfinished. If you load up the track instead of just playing directly, you go into this map editor where you have specific blocks available. For example, you had 2 wood blocks here. You had some ramps, you had a booster, and stuff like that. You have a specific amount of them. For example, of the booster, you only have 1. If I try to press here, nothing happens. Okay. That one is fine. Thank you. That one is fine. That one I'm not complaining, okay, Terrence? I'm not complaining, thank you. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, I'm not complaining about that one. It's a monthly competition. I appreciate it, Terrence. Holy shit, thank you. Alright, thank you. But yeah, this is how it works. You have a specific amount. This one you have 1. This one here you have 3 of, for example, the plastic quarter pipes. And this is the map. The map right here. You start in the air on the start block that is just unconnected. You can place blocks underneath. You could choose what you want to start on. You want to start on this block here, for example. Wait, if I can place it, you can. Just like this, you know, you just have to place it in the right spot. You can also start on a ramp. You can start on a booster. You can start on a platform. The only thing that you can't do is start on a booster like this. Wait. Like this, because that would have been too easy and I had to block it off. So you can't do this here, you know? That I purposely blocked off because it would have been too OP. But yeah, then you have 2 rings right here. Specifically, there are checkpoint rings, meaning that you can use a standing respawns. You can also have 2 rings here, and then the finish. Additionally, I also gave you guys a booster right here, a red booster, and a reactor. Those are the blocks given. These right here, you also had 2 sausage blocks, 2 platforms, specifically the flat platforms. These are the only flat blocks. I gave very weird blocks here with the penalty grass, making it a little bit more difficult. These wall voids, and that is pretty much it. There you go. Free blocking is not available as well, but block mixes. And I would say, let's jump into the first submission. Well, this run right here, it's going to be a 39.9 seconds time. No. Okay, continuing. So, Mr. Nono. Clearly Nono. Thank you, also the tube, and Mr. Nono as well, for the resubs. Yeah, continue. Okay, so, the first replay. Here we go. This is a 39.9, but I believe it is one of the most impressive ones in this edition. And why, you might ask? It's the one from Doomy, and the title of the replay was, "Oh boy, I sure wonder what button he pressed this time." Here you go. It's a press forward. He managed to get a press forward working on this track right here. Gets the first checkpoint there, now into the ring, drops to the right, and now he has to 180 turn on this. How does he do it? In the ring? Like this. That's just amazing. Look at that U-turn right there in press forward. Incredible. But now, he still has to do a 270-degree turns to get to the finish. How does he do it? Well, with a turtle, obviously. Bounces there into a turtle into the finish. Honestly, while it's the slowest run of everybody, I think this one was really impressive by Doomy. Like, I think specifically on this map, press forward was incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. So this is really, really impressive, I think. Yeah, look at this one again. Like, look at that turnaround. That is insane. That is insane. Going up here, now land on the wood. Again, getting the small turn there to the left. You had to be so, precise with the blocks and then just turn it into the finish. Just amazing. I love that. I love that. Alright, and let's go to the second run for the day, and it is by Poyot. And this one, I'm gonna say, get your did someone say meows out? Because this is what he built.
Meow, 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 meow.
So
meow,
thankfully, Poyot
meow,
decided to drive his entire run backwards, so we get to see a better view of the cat. That is clearly why. The entire run is backwards. You can see already here quite a few interesting block combinations, for example from this platform, diagonal platform, onto that block right there. You can see here the flat blocks being really useful, onto the ramp down here, another ramp, now into wood connection right here. You see this is pretty smooth, and then into the finish, just like that. Okay, let's turn this off. But yeah, basically just a backwards route, barely clocking in faster than Doomy's press forward by only 3 seconds. Only 3 seconds faster by Poyot right there. Next one is gonna be a little bit faster now. This is the first real route that we're gonna take a look at. It is from our fellow tree enjoyer moderator in the chat. It is our Magic with a 24.8. And he starts off immediately with special because he is going for the reactor. Grabs the reactor right here as a help, getting the checkpoint in the very back. Now the one right next to the finish, dropping down here to the one on the right side at the start. And now just has to get to the finish, gets the booster, both boosters, jumps to the finish, lands, and slowly but surely makes his way to the finish. He did not have that much time, because he's on vacation right now, to actually set a good run, so he asked me what was possible. And I can confirm that technically you can do a sub 20 seconds run with this if you drive it really fast. This one clocked in at 24.8, but goddamn, this last jump is a bitch. I did not get this jump clean. I could not, only with respawns I could get it. But can actually be enough for the author time. With the author time for this track was 20 seconds. And now we have another one coming in, Serda, who I believe started in the last like 2 hours of the competition or so. And he does something unique right here. He clocks in at a 23.1 and he goes for a respawn strat. So he first jumps to the left, wood across here, clean lines, now grabs the checkpoint here in the back and then goes for a standing respawn. To start back here, don't have to use any other blocks, and then reuse that booster, go to this last checkpoint here, and then into the finish. And yes, very interesting skin right here. But yeah, takes these first 3 checkpoints with a lot of speed, and then grabs this checkpoint right here, and continues on his way to this checkpoint. Now I do have a question for you, Serda. Why are you taking all three checkpoints here, respawning in this, and then driving 1 block past it? Because like, I mean, let me just show you. If you just like place your ghost here, drive, land like this, take the checkpoint there, and then drive up here, turn around into the finish. And if we take a look at that, so like he takes the checkpoint here. The important thing with respawns is they always take 1 second. You always wait for 1 second. So like here, now I start on the booster. Let's put it a little bit backwards. So like maybe here. Let's see, what time do I clock in? So this would be like the respawn. I go in here and it would be 19.1. So a little bit faster than the 23. I could have worked on that a little bit. I just wanted to mention that. So respawns can be useful, but you gotta be efficient with them. You definitely need to be efficient with them. They can be fast. This route also was possible to get a sub 20 in theory. You could have gotten the sub 20 with that one. Next one is Awesome Tom. Awesome Tom with a 22. He might not have gone for the fastest run, but he has gone for a run with a lot of wickedness. Let's just try to count the bug slides in this run here. So goes with the right here, now bug slide into bug slide right there, that's 2 already. Then goes here, another bug slide into the reactor. Then with the reactor going up with the ramp into the booster up here, and then just 1 more checkpoint, tries to do a backside here and into the finish. 4 backsides on this one. Very interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, goes like that. How many submissions? I'm not telling, because then you could count. It's similar to last time. Similar to last time, I can say. This one was a little bit harder, I think. But yeah, it's around similar. But yeah, this is the route from Tom. As you can see, you know, checks the reactor. Maybe not the most elegant or the most like fast route that we can see, but definitely a cool one to drive, I think. Just now realized that you can start flat on the platforms. That's pretty much the first thing that I mentioned when I was showing off the map, I think. Next one is Sonic's Highways, also coming in on the very last day. Clocking in a 21.4 and also going for a respawn strat. He goes first to the left, right here, and drops down into this checkpoint. Now drives back, gets the last checkpoint as well, and then respawns and just reuses the last start that he did. Lands in the ramp once again, takes this checkpoint, bounce across onto the wood, turn to the left, and into the finish. Now this is an interesting thing that I want to point out here, is that usually if you go for a respawn route, it can be difficult because you kind of have to build 2 starts, you know? Like he, in this case, just decided to reuse the start that he already built. But usually if you do a respawn, you want to start differently, you know? You don't want to retrack over your steps like this, usually. So usually you will have to build a different route for your respawn. So that, I think, slowed him down a little bit, but other than that, pretty nice. Difficult route to drive? Yeah, that is true. Okay, and the next one. The first one to beat the author time. It is a Psychic Ducks. And it is basically a similar route to Sonic's Highways, just a little bit more optimized. So drops down here onto the booster the same way, now lands on the wood, drives across the wood. Wood does not have amazing acceleration at that kind of speed though. Then drops in there with a roofed, respawns again, now build a different start here, and now reuse the wood into the finish. So the first time he starts, he jumps to the left, right here, and then the second time, when he comes again, he jumps to the right. And then this reuse is pretty clever, I like it. He used it once to get that checkpoint, and now he reuse the wood to drive into the finish. One thing I would definitely also want to point out here is his start. Because if we want to take a look at a comparison against Sonic's Highways just now, is this start right here is quite important. He lands on the wood a little bit smoother. And if we take a look at this landing, he accelerates a lot quicker. As you can see, he reaches the first checkpoint, I believe, at about 3.6. Yeah, 3.6. Sonic's Highways reaches it at 4.1. It is about a half a second difference. Now the thing is though, that Sonic's will have a little bit more speed. He gets a little bit more booster, a better landing here as well, so he will have a bit more speed, as you can see. But this time gain that that Psychic Ducks gets from this booster landing, he gets it twice, you know? Because he respawns, so it's even more important. Just like that. Even more important. Also, why am I getting fricked? Really mad. Also, Arcol and Timbo, thanks for the resubs as well. Appreciate it. Alright. But yeah, there you can see the differences. They're bouncing across and then trying to get into the finish. They were pretty close until the finish, which obviously was not super clean for Sonics. Alright. Next one. It is Easy Goat. Also sending in, I believe, on the last day. And this run now, Psychic Ducks was the first one to beat the author time earlier. This run immediately is another 1 second faster. He got the sub 19 with an 18.99, and he uses what Shorty earlier mentioned that he missed. You can just start flat. You can just have a normal start block, you know? Just place a flat block there, easy. Goes for the respawn, then drops down to the right here onto the ramp, takes the booster, roof it on the plastic, barely works. Now down to the right, wood in the ending, very efficient, and then wide line here to the finish. This one, I can point out one thing. He does not use the booster now in the start. He only uses this in one of the respawns. So he reaches this checkpoint a little bit later than the others that we have seen so far with a 4.0. But then, obviously at the very end here, as he's coming in. He uses a lot of wood here, which does help these tight turns a lot. You have to be turning a lot with this map. It is very difficult. You have to be spiraling. And here you can see one optimization that would have maybe been possible, and that is if he could have managed to get the turn directly to the right. He has to go a little bit wide, go around the outside here towards the finish, which does lose a little bit of time, of course. But the next one, we can kind of see how that would have been possible, because Robofish, the next player, is another 1 second faster. 1 second faster, and he basically just built a more efficient route than EasyGoat we saw earlier. So drops down here into the booster, then just plastic bounce into the right checkpoint, respawns there. And then jumps to the left. This is an 1799. A 1799, I mean. Goes around here and then would finish. This is just more. Can you say full time? Yeah, it is a 1799. It is a 1799 by Robofish. 1799 by Robofish. So does lose a little bit here in the start because of this booster line. You can see with this wheelie that you get that it takes a little bit of time to get up to speed, but you do get a lot of speed if you get it right. But yeah, goes for the standing respawn there, then jumping to the left, and then across here. Now has to do the transition like this, which is a very hard transition because obviously if you look at this block right here, it points you to the right other than not really to the left, so it makes the turn to the left a little bit difficult, but then gets a very nice exit here towards the left into the finish. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Also Scoopster, thank you for the prime step as well. Alright, let's take a look at the next one, because this one is just 0.05 of a second faster, and I think this one looks really fun and cool to drive. It is by Mel Martinez, a pretty good driver as well, and yeah, look at this route. This one is just fun. Drops down to the right, clean landing onto the ramp, then jumps onto the ramp there, cool transition, now booster through the checkpoint here, landing in the wall right, back onto platform, and then uses wood at the end right here to get into the finish. I think this one is pretty fun, no? Like landing smooth in the ramp right here. I love this connection right here. From the ramp onto this platform block, really clean. Then dropping down here, also a clean transition from the platform onto the sausage. And then using the booster here for a big jump through the checkpoint, turn around, over the wood, and into the finish. That is enough for 17.95. But the next one again, we are moving quite quickly here at the very start because we have a few replays to look through, of course. You guys have been busy. Is another half a second faster. It is a 1749. And this one I can already tell you is cooked. It is by Pseudo. It is a 1749. And the strat that he uses here at the start, I think is really sick. Because the problem with the booster always is, I gave you an uphill booster, right? I wanted to give you guys this booster because you have to drive uphill. You need to jump out of the booster. What did Pseudo find out? You can just place it here on the side. Wait, first of all, he respawns on the checkpoint on the right. But then he actually takes the booster in the second time after the respawn. Just takes it like this. Just drives across and gets the booster like that. Like, so simple, but really elegant. Wait, you couldn't really see that. Like, it's so elegant. Really cool. I love this idea. It's really clever. We will not see it for a while. Maybe we will see it again a little bit later though. Gets the reactor here. Lots of speed. The thing with the reactor is... Also bug slide finish. Really cool. The thing with reactor is you get basically a constant speed boost. You know, everything you do is just a little bit faster. He just drives a bit faster on the wood, on the platforms, on the bug side. Everything is sped up. Is it worth it, the extra way of getting the reactor? That is of course the question. But this one is pretty cool, really cool. But yeah, going for the respawn. This is again a 1749. And yeah, cool transitions on this one as well. Especially this one I really like. Reactor into wood right there, onto another wood. Then from the ramp onto the wood here, into bug slide finish. Honestly, really cool route. Looks fun, but only enough for a 1749, which it was not quite enough to win. We will continue further. That is yet another fun route, I think. It is Mel, wait, not Mel, it is Enigma. And he also, I think, came up with a really fun route. Starting on the booster right here, and he will do a different route that we haven't seen yet. He lands there on the ramp, now takes the checkpoint in the very back, drives around here, and then takes the red boost, actually, in the first part. Jumps across to the right, and then just quick finish right here, around the corner. But yeah, he uses the red boost. So if you don't remember, you have obviously 2 checkpoints here in the first wall, and then a red boost at the bottom here, which obviously gets you quite a little bit of speed. So figured that out. I think this also looks like a fun route. Goes a little bit far here because the first checkpoint he goes for is basically at the very end of the map. But yeah, nice wood here, clean jump to the right. Honestly, looks fun to drive, I think. Looks fun to drive. Well, red boost might come in handy here or there. Next one, Mega Artery is the next one. Just another 0.2 of a second faster, and once again, we go for a respawn threat. This time, he is going for the 2 checkpoints on the left here. Gets both of them, respawns, now has built a different start to drop down here onto the platform. Booster into roof hit, uses 2 blocks for the roof hit, and then a nice wood end into the finish. Honestly, I love this, like, just tiny transition here in the start from this block onto the ramp. Just really cool. Wait, couldn't really see. Like this small transition, really nice. Really nice. And then, yeah, driving across here. Here, of course, he doesn't have a booster at the start, so loses out a little bit on the speed there. But yeah, cool one, I think. Really cool. And honestly, I want to mention here again just how sharp and fast you can take this turn at the end. He is driving like 190, 180 around this corner. It's a super tight 180, but he can keep so much speed because of the wood. It's really overpowered. It is really overpowered. Very useful. But only 0.04 of a second faster. We come from Mega Artery with a 1723 to the Master, who managed to get a 17.19. Just 0.04 of a second faster, and he also goes for a respawn. Also a respawn threat. So he instead goes to the right one. You see so many different routes here, it's amazing. I didn't expect that, to be honest. Goes for the right one, respawns there, now jumps onto the wood right here, and now just very efficient around here, gets the 2 checkpoints in the end, gets the wood grip there, and then booster into the finish. Takes the booster as the pretty much last block, which is quite interesting. But yeah, gets the first checkpoint there. Then of course he does not have the extra speed from a booster or anything like that, but very efficient. Like you can tell that he does not waste a lot of space. Okay, he wasted those blocks because he didn't use them for the scenery. But like he does not waste a lot of distance. He's very diligent with the distance that he travels, which is quite nice here. Drops down, and then here you can see barely gets the wood grip on with one corner of his car, and into the finish with the booster. We can also take a look at, I would say, a small comparison with this one against Robofish from earlier. So this one is now about 0.8 of a second faster than Robofish, and if we can take a look in camera 7, we can see the small differences. So at the very start, Robofish drops down into the booster, then of course has the late booster acceleration with the wheelie, while meanwhile Master instantly accelerates, and Master without a booster is actually faster into the first checkpoint. Then they respawn, Robofish again going for the booster, Master now driving here, and now you see the difference from the booster. Robofish catching up and overtaking the Master into the checkpoint. However, as I said before earlier, if you remember from Robofish's route, he is kind of pointing to the right here, but he has to do a left turn. The Master uses this block instead, which gives him a much cleaner line, way tighter around the corner here, and manages to overtake Robofish in this corner. And then the ending, we actually see that Robofish comes back a little bit, because the Master goes a little bit wide around here. Meanwhile, Robofish can just go around like this, straight to the finish. So you see the small differences in the routes right there. It is quite interesting. That was enough for a 17.19. But the next replays that we will take a look at, well, the next replay that I would like to take a look at is the one by Mac and Cheese. but Mac and Cheese sent in puzzle comp number 1 replay. And I did write him in a DM to send me the correct replay, but he didn't answer. So, and I also wrote him on Twitch, and he also didn't notice, I guess. So, I don't know, I've been ghosted by him. So, unlucky, I don't have the replay. He was not the only one who sent in puzzle comp number 1. And he is in the chat. Yeah, hello, Mac and Cheese. Why do you not answer my DMs? Really mad? He is not the only one. There were 5 people who sent in the wrong replay somehow. It's a bit difficult sometimes. Well, we're skipping across then though to Fabian, who is a 100th of a second faster. It's a 16.95. And Fabian came up with a completely new route once again. He is going for a turnaround, which I think is very interesting. So first of all, gets the checkpoint here on the left, and down turns around onto the booster in the ring, just like that, gets the checkpoint now, then across to the last few checkpoints right here, around with the ramp, onto the sausage, into the finish. But yeah, we have not seen this route yet. This is a little bit of a different one, because he drops down here to the right, and then actually he uses the ring, as you can see, to turn around a little bit better, which is interesting. I really like that idea as well. Cool idea, I think. Then here he has a little bit of a problem, I can say. He is at around 180 speed, but this transition is a little bit unsmooth. He didn't find the perfect block for it, so he will drop down, gets a slowdown from the transition. Drops down to 120, 130. And then I think this ramp to sausage transition here is actually pretty cool. But it also did lose him a little bit of speed in the end. But it's a cool transition. I like it. I definitely like it. Interesting route right there coming in from Fabian. However, then again, another 0.2 of a second faster comes a route that might be a bit familiar to some people. It is Yas, who came up with this route right here yesterday with a 16.76. So it drops down onto the booster, then to the right, grabs these 2 checkpoints and respawns, jumps to the left now, to this ring, onto the sausage, and then across wood like this into the finish. Now, this is very similar, I can always say, to Margie's route that she found yesterday. Very similar. But it is not faster. It is not faster. He did do some differences, which I can show you soon. First of all, this route used the booster at the very start and an interesting roof it, I think. Roof it there on this block to land smooth in this downhill. Then grab those 2 checkpoints and then, so basically the lower 2 checkpoints. Then in the respawn, lands in the ramp to the right, over the sausage, and then through the wood into the finish. Pretty here efficient with the route as well. But if we take a look, this looks like mine. Well, you might remember it now, because the next entry that we have is actually Margie herself. And it is a 1649. It is a 2500 faster. And this is how it looks like. Here you go. So Margie also lands in the booster, roof it right there, lands a little bit earlier here, keeps a bit more speed, into the ring, standing respawn, and then jump to the left, onto the ramp, then over the sausage, and now some wood usage for the last turn, over the ramp, into the finish. Now we can actually look at the comparison right here, because the comparison is quite interesting between them, because there are small differences in the routes. So first of all, they do the start exactly the same, but then Margie jumps a little bit further, and also 1 block earlier on the platform, and with that keeps a bit more speed. You can see that Margie has a bit more speed going through here and is finding herself about a 10th in the lead already at that part. Then respawns, of course, stay the same distance. If we give a little bit of a benefit to Yas right here to get a little bit earlier. Also, Margie air braking here also gains her a little bit of speed. Let's do a little bit more. You can see they have different lines for the wood. Yas going a little bit more inside, going uphill on the wood, whereas Margie takes a little bit more speed, keeps a bit more speed around, and is also faster with that one as well. So the 2 differences in the routes were actually faster in Margie's route. Enough for a 1649. One thing I said earlier, of course, one thing that could have made this route a little bit faster is if there was a block place here, like some block to land on to not have this insane wheelie. I think with the respawn probably could have saved like half a second or so. But yeah, other than that, I think pretty good route or pretty good layout for this route right here with the 2 respawns. That was enough as for 1649. Wanted to use the wood there, but I used all the blocks. Like this one here, which is so useful because you totally touch it at the end. That one. Yeah, you used them all already. So unlucky. So unlucky that you used them already. Alright, next. I'm sorry. Also, Margie only had 2 hours for that. She only had 2 hours for that, so I think that is a pretty good one for just in 2 hours. I think that's pretty nice actually with the respawns. Alright. Well, we'll see. Is the respawn the fastest threat, or is not respawning the fastest threat? We will take a look, because the next one is from Spimmery, and he is again another 0.3 of a second faster, and does a very similar line to Fabian earlier that we saw. So he also goes for a turnaround strat here, but doesn't use the booster in here, goes for the bug slide, then takes the booster now into plastic bounce, gets a small hop, and then just a bit of a tighter finish right here into the end. Yeah, like 20 more or something. Surely 20. Around there. Alright. But yeah, this is Spemeri's one. 16.17. And I think this one is the best also if we compare it directly against Fabian's line. If we look at Fabian here, he does not take the downhill, which does lose him a little more speed. We saw from Spemeri, if we take a look, he drops down, gets the downhill, and gets a little bit extra speed from that, which does help actually out. He has quite a bit more speed into the first checkpoint. Goes wider here. Now Fabian will take the booster, goes into the lead. However, then Spimmery coming back with the booster later on. They are very close around here, but now Fabian goes wide over the sausage, and Spimmery takes over the first place like that. Do you see the small differences on this as well? There are a few possibilities always to improve. Small details are often quite important with these puzzle routes. Also, by the way, if you're interested in participating in these, I'm hosting this every month and always 100 euro on the line, basically. Next one is Noob BCP, and this one is pretty cool because he also goes for a respawn strat on this one. Goes across here, grabs these 2 checkpoints, then respawns, and now use the downhill here as well towards the right, and just takes the last checkpoint across here onto the booster into the finish. So he built kind of what I said earlier, 2 different routes at the start. This is 1589 by Noob BCP. So the first is sub 16 time. This is the first sub 16 right here. Sub 16 seconds already. But yeah, gets those 2 checkpoints now, builds a different downhill here, different start, lands clean in the sausage, drives across here with the wood, and then I think he does use the booster fairly late. He doesn't have amazing speed, but the way he uses the booster here with this transition onto the booster is really cool. I really like that. I really like that idea. I think that is a really cool idea right here. Like that, onto the booster, and zack, go. Really cool. Alright. Next one is Arco, and this one again is 1/10 of a second faster, and also uses a respawn line. We see a lot of players going for the respawn. By the way, I just want to say, I didn't actually at first intend the respawn lines, but I just thought the rings looked cool. Like, I just thought the rings looked cool in the holes, so that's why I decided to use the rings. Only later on I noticed, oh wait, yeah, you can, I guess you can respawn as well. Huh, true. That's a thing probably. Alright, it can be pretty fast though, it can be pretty fast. Arco, let's take a look. He goes with a plastic bounce to the right, takes the checkpoint on the right, respawns. Now jumps to the left with the wood across here, transition onto the platform, one more turn into the finish, and there you go. Pretty simple, keeps good speed, especially from these boosters with the plastic bonds at the start. And then also booster here onto wood is just able to keep the speed up. Also here goes a little bit wide, but he has good speed also for the very last turn. And finish, just like that, 1579. But once again, only 100th of a second faster. We have the next player, and it is Kamjic. It is 100th of a second, a 1579 to a 1578. Very close between them. And this one is basically the same line as Margie from earlier, but just a little bit improved. So he takes a plastic bounce in the start, beautiful landing into the ramp, gets the last checkpoint, respawns. Now jumps across here onto the platform, down to the ramp, and then from the ramp, right there, from the platform, into wood, into the finish. But yeah, this first plastic bounce is so goddamn smooth. Look at this landing. Beautiful. Keeps great speed right there. Nice trichome. Yeah, he helps us pronounce Kamdic. You know, that's why the trichome is like that. He just wants us to know that it's pronounced Kamdic, clearly. But yeah, here from the platform onto the wood, and I think I also quite like this ending here with the plastic bounce into the finish. And this one I also want to compare against Margie once, because they have a very similar line. So if we take a look at Margie from this point of view, you see they both take the same booster. However, Kamjic bouncing way earlier with the plastic, lands earlier and also keeps way more speed and is already in the checkpoint now. Margie only gets there about like 6, 7 tenths later. If we put them now at the same spot, it is actually 67 hundredths. Wait. It's actually 69 hundredths of a difference. Incredible. What a coincidence. Don't look at Margie actually being ahead here. But yeah, then different lines here. Margie landing earlier into the ramp. Actually gains a little bit of time because of that. And Kamjic now has to go wide because he doesn't have as many blocks available anymore as Margie did. Goes over the wood a little bit unsmooth, and then plastic bounce coming back. See Margie again, and it is really close at the finish. So the finish lines from them were pretty similar. They were very similar right here, as you can see. Different lines coming out to basically the same time. But yeah, the start was the main difference with the plastic bounce, I think. Right, that was Kamjic one with a 1578. However, the next one, again, the last one was 100 faster. The next one is just another 300 faster. It is Solitux, and he also once again goes for the red boost strat. We saw that one earlier already. I placed the red boost in the first wall, and it can be very useful. So drops down here onto the booster, then plastic bounce down here. Yeah, has already 3 checkpoints collected now. Then jumps across here onto the wood and finish just like that. And it is enough for a 1575. So he does keep a lot of speed here. Gets these first checkpoints incredibly quickly. Then goes around. So he kind of drives away from where he wants to go at this point. However, of course, gets the booster right here and gets more speed. Actually, I don't know how much speed he actually got from that booster with that wheelie. I'm actually not sure. He gets a little bit of extra speed for sure. Then has to slow down here a little bit, loses a little bit of time at the very end. But pretty solid transition. And I think especially these transitions right here from the wood into platform, super smooth. Then from this platform right here into this wood block, also super smooth. Across here to the wood, technically not smooth, but it doesn't matter if it's wood, if it is actually smooth. And this one also is fairly smooth right here. So pretty clean solution here by Solitux, and that was enough for him to get a 1575 and be ahead of the respawners. But yet again, the next one is also just 200ths of a second faster. It is really tight. It is Scheiberder with a 1573. And he also goes with the red boost. However, does it a little bit different because he gets only these first 2 checkpoints at the beginning, now gets the red boost, jumps to the very last one in the back, and then grabs this checkpoint right here, which Solitux took at the start, and then into the finish. So slightly different line, basically exchanges one checkpoint from the start to the end. That is the main difference between them. And we can also take a look at that. He uses the booster here, which is very interesting. Some cool transitions as well in Chibota's route. Only right turns? That's actually true, yeah. He only does right turns. That's kind of interesting. If we compare these ones as well, if we load in Solid Tux, right here, let's take a look in Camp 7 as well between them, because they are doing different lines. So we see small differences at the start. Once again, Chibota is a little bit ahead. Then Solid Tux takes the booster there, goes around. However, of course, Chibota way ahead at the moment because he only took 2 checkpoints. Then we see Solid Tux driving around, gets the red booster now. Meanwhile, Chibota is already at the last checkpoint. He only needs to collect this one now and then go to the finish. It is pretty close between them. Both spiraling around, then Chibota gets the checkpoint now, the last one for him. Solid Tux takes a little bit longer, gets it a few tenths of a second later, and then they come back in the minute, in the ending right here, and it is with just 200ths of a second, Chibota faster than Solid Tux from 2 different lines. Pretty nice. All right. There were those ones. Next one is Erasers. And we are back to respawn. To respawn route. Erasers doing a respawn. And already the start looks quite interesting. Where is he starting right here? What is he starting in? Let's take a look. He's starting in these plastic blocks right here. And I think he gets pushed out a little bit by them on the starting line immediately. Which is pretty cool. Instantly on the start, he's getting pushed out. Even though he's in the air, he gets pushed out of it, which is quite interesting. Which actually can be a little bit faster. But yeah, let us take a look. Gets the booster there immediately, then respawning right here. Completely normal car skin, by the way. Booster here into the ramp, over the wood. Then does that transition, which is fascinating. And into the finish like that. So again, very short distance in this one, especially. Just a very short line. And yeah, efficient in that regard. Definitely loses a little bit of speed here, but honestly, it's kind of cool that this is possible, that you can place this wood block exactly here into the ring and you can just drive over it. I think it's kind of cool. I think it is kind of interesting that it's even possible. I think it probably works a little bit better for the finish, though, I gotta say. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. The one thing that he loses out on a little bit, I think, is at the start here, he gets the boost very early, but he only gets half of it, of course, you know? So he does not get the full effect from the booster when he respawns the second time for the speed. He has a little bit less speed than other people had. Usually people, when they take the booster, they jump like into the checkpoint immediately, whereas Arises lands a little bit earlier. So he had a little bit less speed because of that. And next, we have yet again another fellow mod, and I'm actually quite happy to see the improvement from last time. Last time, David was last place with a 1-block solution. Actually, nobody sent in a 1-block solution this time. This time, David a little bit further up with a 15.66. Definitely improving his position a little bit from last time. Here you go, 15.66 now. He is going with a respawn on the right side. Then going to the left once again. Land on the ramp, over the wood, gets a nice transition there actually, and into the finish. So he used a very similar block there. Actually, why are your wards wood? I just noticed. Why are your wards wood? Ah? Did your Openplanet or something change that? Well, it doesn't matter actually, but why are they wood? Editor ++ moment, I guess. Yeah, must have, must be. Must be something with Editor ++. But yeah, he used the same block here, but he goes instantly to the right and gets a smooth transition, keeps the speed, keeps his 180 kilometers per hour through the turn. Then very inside around here, just really clean, fast, and once again, like it's very fast. Of course, does do a respawn here. The thing with the respawn is, they always take 1 second here, you know? Like, you land in the checkpoint and then you have to wait 1 second until you actually start falling. Which, of course, slows you down a little bit with the respawn strats. However, The next player, once again, also going for a respawn. It is a Domino Marama, just a 1600ths of a second faster, a 15.50. And, interestingly, he goes to the right, just ignores the booster completely, only takes it in the second respawn, and then look at how far he jumps through the checkpoint, into the ramp, to the left, barely getting around, and into the finish like that. Once again, very clean, and we had multiple lines like this now in a row. I would say, let's quickly compare them here. So we have Razes, Arkol, and David in here, and let's take a look at them in comparison. So, if we take a look, they're all... Wait, here they are. They are starting here. Multiple, David, Arkol, and Razes all going for the booster immediately. Also, you can see right here, remember how Razes block mix the blocks into the start? This is what he gains. This is what he gains with that. Is this top 10? Soon. Soon. Surely. Lance, drop down into the booster. Then David and Arco getting the booster a little bit later. And Domino just doesn't care about the booster. Does not take it and is actually fastest. Domino is the one person who did not take a booster at the start. And he's the fastest into the checkpoint. Then it is Razes, then Arco, and then David. However, now of course, they will get a little bit more speed again. Domino at the moment is the fastest, then it is Razes, then Arco, then David. However, David I think has the fastest ending. We see Domino having to go a little bit wider around here, whereas the other players can go a bit tighter. Like David, for example, keeping a little bit more speed through this. Then coming to the ending, and also here Domino is far in the lead, but goes a little bit wider. The other players manage to save a wood block and go super tight, as you can see right here. Catching back up, but it is in the end Domino on first place. Then it is David just barely in front of Razes, and then it's Arco. Really close between them, really close. It's always fun to see these small fights, because always like tiny differences, get one turn better or like place one plastic bounce or something like that can make the difference between them. It's really tiny differences that can put you ahead of your opponents. However, of course, sadly, they were not quite enough yet to win, because you can see in them that there is a little bit of potential still left for improvements. And the first one to show this is Porky P. He also, once again, goes with the red boost route. So he jumps onto this ramp right here, really clean, over the wood, onto this platform, the wall right, then... Okay, some lag, let me go back a little bit. Over the... Ah! What the hell? Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? HP Smart, what do you mean? Am I still streaming? Hello? Am I fine? Why is HP Smart? I don't even have a printer. What do you mean I don't have a printer? I'm still streaming. Okay, it's fine. What the fuck? I don't even own a printer. I didn't even know that was... is that from Windows? Coming from Windows? I don't know. Whatever. I guess it works at least. It's fine. It's fine. It works. Anyways. God damn it. I don't know what that was. That's the first time I've ever had that before. Like, that's the very first time. God damn it. Anyways, Porky P gets these first 3 checkpoints here, as we've seen before with this red boost line. Gets the red booster here, jumps up into the wood, then drop down, tight line, into the finish. Like that. This is a very clean line here. Once again, he also uses, at the start, as you can see, he uses the a platform here to land a little bit cleaner and not have that wheelie as strong. Then here, cool transitions, keeping the speed across from the wood onto the platform, landing on the platform right here, keep the speed. Now here at the end, he has to slow down a little bit for this last turn. But other than that, really clean, I think, by Porky P. Which was enough to clock in for 15.42. Next one, we have, I believe, the current silver RMC world record holder, if I'm not mistaken. It is a Spark Sheep with a 15.19. Another 0.2 of a second faster. And Spark Sheep going again with a resub line. Thanks for the resub, Sen. Appreciate. Wait, not the resub. Thanks for the gifted, Sen to Leah. God damn it. He's going for a respawn line. Also, blah. He drops down right here into the first checkpoint like that. Then uses the ramp to go very smoothly into the plastic bounce. Keeps a lot of speed, going a little bit wider here, and then super tight end finish. That was a roller coaster right there at the very ending, I think. Really cool. It's a tough transition right here to hit, I think. Is the next one right here. Getting this fast without losing speed is very difficult. But yeah, then coming in with speed and just threading the needle through all of this. I think he even touches the wall right here a little bit. Yeah, it touches the wall, but it turns the car around a bit further to the left, which actually quite nice. Quite nice. That worked really well for him. And was enough to get a 0.19. And if we compare this once again, this one, against the Minomarama from earlier, we saw, which basically did the same line. It is actually Spark Sheep ahead. Domino earlier had the fastest line, but this line right here from Spark Sheep actually is faster. I can tell already, this downhill right here, this platform downhill, if you are not using a booster at the start, this is the fastest that you can do for acceleration. This is the fastest acceleration, this platform downhill. It's optimum. Now Domino gets the booster here a little bit earlier, Spark Sheep a little bit later, and now they both have speed. The problem is, Spark Sheep has to go really wide around here, whereas Domino goes much tighter and finds himself in the lead once again, but then Spark Sheep, cleaner line to the finish, and once again overtakes. Yeah, gravity working out really well there, that is true. And next one, again, 1/10 of a second faster. We are so close now to the sub 15 seconds times. It's a 15.08. It is Mentos. And once again, a new line right here by Mentos. He takes the first 3 checkpoints here, but instead of going to the red boost, he just turns around in the checkpoint and goes to the left. Does not want to take that long detour, he just turns around immediately and into the finish. Now, use the booster on literally the last meter of the track. So that one definitely helped a lot, I believe. But yeah, pretty cool strat here. Pretty cool strat by Mentos, I think. Going around here, and I really like this landing here by Mentos. It's actually quite fast. Quite fast. Keeps a lot of speed, gets a nice downhill especially to immediately get up to speed, which is really clever. Then has all of the wood saved up for the ending. This wood block especially here is basically doing the ending for you. Like, you almost don't need any other blocks. If you place this wood block like this, it's the perfect placement pretty much. You can just drive towards the finish. Really easy. Very nice. Very nice by Mentos there. And we can also look at a comparison from this one against... Never mind, I put the wrong replay into the comparison. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at Mentos versus Mentos. Wait, who did I want to compare against? Oh shit, I forgot. Well, let's just move on to the next one. Whoops, sorry. Let's go next one. It is now finally the sub 15. We just had, actually let me count. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 runs that were 15 seconds long. 15.08 to a 15.89. We had 11 runs there. Super close between everybody. However, the next run, clocking in from Onion, is a 6/10 of a second faster. It's a 14.46. Huge improvement right here. And this run is mad. This run is absolutely mad. Because he actually goes for the reactor. He drops down to the right, through here, gets the reactor, gets the speed boost, ramp into plastic bounce, turn around, into another plastic bounce, wood finish. Just like that. insane. Insane reactor line here by Onion, I think. Like, look at this jump right here. It's beautiful. Ramp into plastic bounce turnaround with reactor instantly up to speed again. 230 right here, 240 even into that checkpoint. Somehow makes that turn full speed with the plastic bounce, and then last turn into the finish. I'm gonna be honest. I placed this reactor boost there as a joke. Like, it was just there as a troll. But somehow, Onion managed to get a 14.4 with it, which is actually insane. I literally just put it there and was thinking like, nobody will actually go for that, right? Like, it was just there as a bait, like full bait. Surely that could never be fast. But Onion actually finding out a pretty cool way. Also, by the way, Xelm, I did not get a replay from you. So then must have not worked with the sending of the replay, which is sad, but I did not receive any. You can ask me in theory if it did send or not, if you're worried about that, if it worked or didn't work. Usually you get a confirmation if it worked. But yeah, this is the run by Onion. I think really cool. Like, all of this route, like, I just want to watch it again. Like, it's just so cool. It's such a cool route right here by Onion. But yeah, sadly, I don't think the reactor is actually the fastest route. Like, he cooked on this route, for sure. He definitely cooked on this one. I don't think, though, that it ended up being actually the fastest. It's a 14:46, already really fast, but not enough. Next one. Well, earlier we had 6/10 of a second of a difference. Now it's only 400ths, and 400ths faster than Onion. We find a Leo. A Leo with a 14:41. And he, once again, goes for the red boost strat that we saw earlier. So just drives here, no booster yet. Clean transitions through the wood, and then gets the red boost there. Clean transition into sausage, plastic bounce, finish. I love these transitions at the end. They are really cool. Like, this is just a clean map right here. Really clean map. I will announce once we get close. You will notice once we get close to top 5. You will notice. Trust me. But yeah, I love these transitions here. I love these transitions. I just don't want you guys to count. Like, if I say, oh, this is, I don't know, this position's place or something, then you could count every single one and you would know exactly how far we are, you know? Wanna keep it a secret. Alright. But yeah, these transitions, beautiful. Lands clean into the sausage, then over the booster, gets a tilt right here. His right tires are up, but they're going down right now. So gets a very nice tilt against the plastic bounce. Clean transition here, and then from this one onto the ramp. Like, I have not seen this transition yet, I think, but this transition is beautiful. Look at that. Just from there onto the ramp, just really clean. Like, I love when you guys find cool transitions like this from the random blocks I give you. Really cool, I think. Really cool. Alright, there you go. That was Leo's. And next one is by Tenchi. Tenchi coming in with the 1440. Once again, just 1/100th of a second faster. And Tenchi also, like we've seen before, goes for a turnaround strat. He gets the first checkpoint there, then turns around with the bug slide on the booster, instantly gets up to speed again, drives around here, keeps the speed onto wood and into the finish. Enough for a 1440. Really nice, I think. Really nice. 1440 with this run. A few notable things are wood here to get a very nice inside line onto the booster. Bug slide through it to keep a little bit more speed. Then landing here pretty clean. Keeping good speed across this as well, over the wood, into sausage, and then also, I just mentioned the interesting transitions. This transition from sausage onto wood, also really cool, I think. Like, really cool that works out like that. Really nice. That was enough for Tenchi. I see waiting for Granadi. This is where Granadi's time that he drove on stream would be. Because the next run by Funny Pills is another it's another 3/10 faster. Funny Pills coming in with a 14.06. Granadi did a stream for about 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes or something, his building process, and he got himself a 14.1. However, he did improve again, I can tell you already. Granadi improved off stream actually to a better time, so you guys can look forward to that. But that is where that time would have been. It looked very good already, but we still have a few more replays to go. And next one is Funny Pills, who was able to beat it. And he goes also for the red boost threat. Not getting that one checkpoint there, only getting the 2 at the start. Red boost now into plastic bounce over the wood. Another plastic bounce across here through the checkpoint into the finish. What just happened? Let's just digest that again. Hello. Thank you very much for the reset. Appreciate it. Also everybody else. Hello. This is insane right here. Red boost into another booster, plastic bounce, goes up to 270 speed right here, into another plastic bounce, across here, through this, and then just drift into the finish. Insane route, Funny Pills. Like, this is an insane route. I love the detail with the colors as well. It's very hard to make colors with this plugin, but it actually does work. It looks really nice, and what a route. Like, that this actually works. Absolutely crazy what you came together here, what you found. Really cool. One thing I want to mention though, I haven't mentioned it yet. What is he starting in right here? He had his sausage block available, and he just decided to park his car inside of it at the beginning. And what does that achieve? Well, at first you might think not that much, but see that? Did you notice? Did you notice? He teleports a little bit down. He gets, as he bucks out of the block, he teleports. And he just gains a few hundreds of a second with that. Which is actually faster. It is actually faster to do that. Which is really cool. What time is this? This is a 14.0. Yes, it is a 14.0 by Funny Pills. Only 1/100th of a second faster though, again, is Django with a 14.0 of his own as well. It's a 14.05, and this is the first time where we see basically the Granadi route that he found in stream. Also thanks, Terrence, for the gifted sub to Leo as well. Appreciate it. So this is what that route basically comes up with. This one is by Django. Lands on the wood here, then through this checkpoint, goes around another wood block there, into plastic bounce, landing into small drift at the end, and finish. So this is a route that we haven't seen up until this point. Getting basically these 2 checkpoints in one go with these wood blocks, just being able to keep all of your speed, all of your momentum through them. It's really fast. Of course, for that, you have to use up a lot of wood blocks though. You uses up 2 wood blocks here, then another 2 at this point, and then he does not have any wood blocks remaining for the ending. Which means that he has to do a drift at the ending, which of course makes it a little bit harder, but still clocking in at a 14.0. Really good run here by Django, I think. There's some optimizations to be found in this route, which I think are really nice. I like the attempt here with the roof fit as well. It does work pretty nicely. I think it does definitely faster than slowing down. Definitely gains him a little bit of time. And then small ramp into the finish, just like that. Okay. That was the 14 seconds times. Now we come to the first sub 14. How many 14 seconds ones? There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5. Because the next run is coming in from Jumper. He was top 10 last time. But now we see a Jumper here at a sub 14, a 13.99. And get your cinema ready. Because this is what Jumper sent in. Hi chat. I hope you had a nice week. Anyways. Sadly, there won't be a XCD haha chatting this time. I am deeply sorry for this inconvenience. And now the run starts. Thank you. Starts off with a completely different route though. Turn around in the first checkpoint, dropping down into here. Now booster across there into the wood. Turn around with so much wood, plastic bounce finish. Okay, wait, I don't want to see the cinema again. Wait. How do we watch this now? Okay, here we go. So this is the run from jumper right here. A completely new route again. We haven't seen this one before. Turning around here, using so many blocks for this turnaround. So many blocks mixed in together, which is really creative, I think. Dropping down into the platform right here. Then smooth transition here. Over the booster, gets more speed, onto wood, and then the entire end is basically wood. Wood right here, transition onto wood, then from this wood onto this wood into plastic bounce finish. I think this plastic bounce is so clever. Like, this is such a good plastic bounce. He doesn't even make the turn, like, he's not even close to making the turn, but the plastic just hits him straight towards the finish. Really nice right here from jumper. With a different line that you have not seen until this point, which I think is pretty interesting. Once again, we have a little bit of a difference to the next player though, because even though that already looked really good, the next player, Kuroki, is another 0.2 of a second faster. And this one is cooked. I'm looking forward to this one. 13.79 right here. And he came up with something really cool. So first of all, starts off with a booster into a downhill there, goes for the red boost, and now watch this. Goes for an insane stunt, landing across there with the flip and finish. That is actually planned. That is actually planned right here, which is insane. Look at that. Red boost, bounce, finish. I don't know, how did he even come up with that? It's actually fast as well, which is the craziest part. It's actually good. Also, he found the thread where you land on a platform right here before the booster. Really nice. I love this small detail here of, you know, instead of just landing straight on the wood, land in this downhill to keep a little bit more speed like that. It's a really nice small optimization there as well. And then, yeah, like, just keeps the speed with this somehow. Good landing as well. Like, he lands with like 120 speed here, which is really good. Keeps all of the speed, does not have to slow down at all for the jump. And then clean into the finish, just like that. Pretty cool. 13.79. I love these. I love how creative you guys got with the with this map. And the creativity is definitely not stopping though, I can tell you that much. There's some insane stuff coming up. And now we have not seen it for a while. It is Alec Bees, and he is using the respawn again. We have not seen respawn routes for a very long time. And here you go. It is Alec Bees with a very interesting booster line there at the start. Gets the first 2 checkpoints, respawns. Then going up here with the booster once again, plastic bounce downhill into this, and then wood ending into the finish. This is so optimized. This is incredibly optimized right here. With a respawn, getting a 13.69. Really nice for Alec Bees right here. So one thing I can say already is, this booster placement of the start, this is optimal right here. For the first checkpoint, this is optimal. If you want to use a booster to get into the first checkpoint, it is optimal to use the booster like this. Also, he once again found a thread with a sausage block to gain a little bit of time here at the start to get a little bit quicker onto the booster. Definitely not calling out anyone there. But yeah, first of all, take speed like this, roof it into the ramp checkpoint, into this checkpoint, respawns, and then to the right, plastic bounce, once again super clean. I want to see it in this camera again actually. Plastic bounce, super clean transitions, and then just wood end, really fast, really clean. Nice route by Alec Bees right here. Can I go to the previous one and check Skybox? Wait, Skyblock? Wait, was there something? I didn't see. Wait, what is there? Let me take a look. Oh, there. Okay, yeah, now I know. Okay, yeah, I see it. Okay, there it is. Yeah, okay, I see it. I found it. It's supposed to be Navi. Is that from like a game, I think? I think I've heard of that before. I think I might have seen it before. Plus scenery. I get a small bobble. Alright, there you go, very nice. Hey, listen. Exactly, that one. Alright, nice. Alright, next one. It is yet another 0.02 of a second improvement. And it is Kiloru with a 13.67. And once again, we find another new turnaround strat here. Turns around in the right checkpoint actually. Then gets the booster here, plastic bounce, wood, drops down to the right, over the sausage, wood, into the finish. This one we haven't seen yet so far. So again, I said before, if you're not using the booster, this drop down right here onto the downhill is optimum. Goes for a small sausage block here to get a very nice turnaround, does a slide through the checkpoint, just like that, onto a booster here to get speed. The thing is always, if you're gonna do a turnaround here at the start, the booster is facing upwards. So when do you use the booster best? And that is when you go through this checkpoint, I guess, you know, because then the booster is already facing upwards. That's a specific problem with the booster that I gave you. It's always facing upwards, which makes it very hard to use. But he found a clever solution here with taking the right checkpoint first, turning around, then here plastic bounce into the wood, dropping down here to keep a speed across this wood turn. You can see he keeps 200 speed across this. Then even more wood at the finish, just like that. Very clean route right there once again by Kiludu with a 67. Next one, again, tiny bit faster. It is Kubas. Kubas with a 0.43. 2500s faster again. Somehow we are still going faster. And he's rocking the I Love Deep Dip skin. Very nice. And this one is yet another way to take this turnaround. So he gets the checkpoint here, drop down, and then does a turnaround like this. Through the middle. Jump up here, over the wood, and then checkpoint and finish right there. It's actually incredible right here, what you guys can still find. So this, we have not seen this a single time yet. You can actually, that's why I did this as well. I open up the middle here, but almost nobody went through there. We have Kubas going through this checkpoint, then turning around through the middle to get back to this checkpoint, and then take the booster here, gets up to speed, jump onto the platform, try to keep the speed, clean line onto the wood, gets it so perfectly, transitions from this wood onto this wood once again, and then also, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is, this straight wood block, it's actually a small upper, you know? Which means that this side is higher up than this side. And that's why you can make these transitions right here, which is really fast, honestly, really fast here then. And I would say, we haven't in a while, let's compare this one against Kiludu that we saw earlier. So of course they are doing two different lines here, as we see both of them doing different turnarounds. Kiludu doing a turnaround at the right, Kubas instead going through the middle and going through the checkpoint now. Kiludu is ahead. He gets the checkpoint first and is ahead. However, Kubas now gets the booster and has a lot more speed into the ending section. Kiludu already now in the checkpoint, but has to go wider to keep the speed, because going around like this way is a lot harder actually, in fact, because of the blocks. Because obviously this wood turn, if you place it in this direction, it's going to be a lot harder to use, which is actually interesting. And then turning around, Kubas is ahead into that checkpoint. Kiludu going a little bit lower, gets into the checkpoint now, and Kubas coming out at 2500s faster than Kiludu in the finish. So very difficult always with these routes, because depending on which direction you go for here, you have different blocks available that will be useful in different ways. You know, this wood block is going to be much harder to use on this side than on this side, for example. So I think that is also a very interesting thing. That was a 43 by Kubas. Kubas was not the only one to get a 43 though, because we have yet another 43 here with just 4 thousandths of a second faster. It's Loon. Loon coming in and submitting for the very first time, and he got a 433, whereas Kubas got a 437. 4 thousandths of a difference. And there's something really cool in this one as well. Look at this transition right here into bug slide turnaround. I've not seen that one yet. Really cool, really sick find right there. And then turnaround finish. Very simple. Very, very simple. He also found the start strat right here, where he starts in this block, gets pushed out a little bit, dropping down, But yeah, look at this. Jump to the right into bug slide, drop into the booster, right around the checkpoint, jump up, and then just drive through the last parts, wood at the end, finish. Really nice. Really nice new strat once again. You guys still keep finding new strats. And the funny thing is, the last two, Kubas and Loon, were 4,000s apart. Well, the next player is only 5,000s ahead. It is Gazerports, also starting in something weird here. He has a 42. So Kubas with a 437, Loon with a 433, and Gazerports with a 428. And the crazy thing is, Gazerports does a respawn. We haven't seen it in a while, but Gazerports actually using the respawn again. Comeback of the respawn, we haven't seen it in a little bit. But what a run here with the respawn. Already in the finish. That quick, 13.42, clocking in. Really nice. Also here, let's take a look again. He's using 2 sausage blocks at the start here to clip through. So first one, he clips through here, I think. Yeah, here he clips through the ground. And then here, he clips through the wall. He does 2 clips, and I think it gains him about a 1/10 of a second actually. Which is really cool. But yeah, grabs the first checkpoint. And then the thing is, he gains 1/10 of a second from these clips, and he does it twice, you know? So he actually gains 2/10 of a second with them, which is really interesting. Was way more useful for his route. Then landing here onto the wood, barely touches that one wood block actually there. And then across here finds that these blocks are on the exact same height as the wood. Around here, small slide, and then tight finish. Hitting the wall there, actually, it's not bad to hit the wall there because you just get tighter around the last turn into the finish. And I would say these guys were so close to each other. Let's compare. Let us compare the 3. So at the start, we see Gazerports, of course, going to the right, getting that checkpoint first, whereas Loon and Kubas very close to each other, getting these checkpoints. Then Loon doing the bug slide, landing down there, whereas Kubas does the turnaround and jumping up, has more speed now than Loon. They're both coming up here, and it is so tight with all 3 of them into this checkpoint. They are so close to each other. Gazerports now going to the right, whereas Loon and Kubas going to the left. And then they're meeting once again here at this checkpoint. So close to each other, all 3 of them, incredibly close. And then going into the finish, and I would say let's watch it from this point of view. They're coming in and just look at us. Like the slightest of margins between them. Like they all, the replays literally all end at the exact same frame. They literally all end at the exact same frame. You would not be able to tell who is actually in front of them. Incredibly tight. I love it. That was really cool strats by you guys. Also, one thing I should definitely do. I've been speaking since over an hour straight. I should drink something. Okay, that was good. Alright, let's continue. Because even then, it is still not enough. That is still not enough. We are gonna go a little bit faster still. We have to still go a little bit faster here. I would say, let's take a look. Next one after Gazerports is Salmon. Salmon coming in with another really cool route again. It is using Granadi's route that he found in the stream, as I said before already. And he found a different way of using it. Does the wood turns here at the start, and now staying super high up and doing a big jump through the checkpoint, turn around here, and finish just like that. So, once again, I've said it before already, this start block here is optimal. Starting like this on the side is the optimal strat on this one. Then onto the wood, across here, then staying super high that he even fits through here is insane. Like, there's barely any space through the hole. But it does work out. Then huge jump through the checkpoint, doing the drift, and then into the wall ride like this and jump to the finish. Pretty cool. Really cool strat here by Salmon, I think. However, still not enough, because we have another new face this time, and it is Rock Skater in fact not getting last place this edition, even though he said so on Discord. He got himself a 13.28. And he is going for the turnaround strat again. Going to the left here onto the wood, into Bugslide, turn around this checkpoint. We have seen it before, keeping the speed over the platform. Now onto Sausage, super tight line around here, wood finish. Really, really clean. Really, really clean. What time was optimal? Checkpoint 1? Checkpoint 1 optimal is like 3.1 seconds, I think. But you will have less speed. But that is optimal, 3.1 I think. 3.1, 3.0 is the fastest you can do into the first checkpoint. But yeah, that's the one from Rock Skater. So as I said, lands here with the bug slide, very clean. He did not use the booster at the start, of course, because he uses it at the turnaround. Then driving through here, clean transition onto the Sausage. And then barely fitting through the checkpoint once again onto wood and into the finish. Just like that. 13.28. It's so close margins though, once again, because next player is Mr. Sui, and he is just 1/100th of a second faster again. Here we go. 0.27. Rockskater had a 0.28. And Mr. Sui, once again, also uses the Grenadi route that we saw before. So wood across here, through the checkpoint, going a little bit lower, transitioning to there, then jump up onto the wood block here, keeping speed through the last turn, and then into the finish. And this one is especially interesting if we compare it against Salmon, because Salmon almost used the exact same route and they are only 5/100ths of a second apart from each other. So we can take a look right here. If we look at the start, remember Salmon had the optimal booster strat at the start, whereas Sui also has a pretty fast booster here, but will get a little bit less speed and finds himself a bit behind Salmon, then goes much lower here, but turning around a lot quicker through the checkpoint, jumping in here. Let's take a look at Salmon actually from this point of view. So he goes through the checkpoint really high up. You can see how much higher he is with the blocks below. Jumping into the checkpoint, has good speed now. Is catching up to Sui right now, using the same block as well, the same platform block into wall right here. The exact same thing. They're driving across. It is Salmon slightly ahead. But he did not have this very last block. Jumps into the finish. And gets beaten by 5/100ths of a second. He did not have this block available at the very end. And that made the difference. 5/100ths of a second, just like that. Really close. Really close between them. Also, Yo Akepta, thank you for the 27 months. Thank you very much. Super close between them. Now, once again, we go 13/100ths of a second faster. A decent improvement right here, coming to a 13.14. It's getting actually close to a sub 13 times. We're getting close to that. It is Lucius, who also I saw did a few nice improvements across the week, and he came up with another turnaround strat. So gets the first checkpoint here, drop down, bug slide, gets the checkpoint. Then around here uses wood to keep a lot of speed in the finish and just clean. That is really clean, that finish right there. Keeps so much speed across this, all of this. Over the wood, can take a very nice inside line here from this wood onto the next block, and then this ending, really clean. Really clean right here. This one we can also very nicely compare against Rock Skater from earlier. Which is this one right here. So if we compare the two, let's actually compare from Rock Skater. So they are both starting on the flat platform. Rock Skater goes a little bit further left to get around the corner. Then they drop down into the bug side, both using basically the exact same blocks at the start, landing in here. Now, however, Rock Skater uses the sausage, whereas Lucius uses the wood. So Lucius a little bit ahead. However, then Rock Skater comes back with a very inside line here, goes with the speed. However, had to slow down a little bit, and Lucius overtakes in the finish. Lucius a little bit more speed with the white line, whereas Rock Skater had to drift the very last part and gets overtaken that way. Just small differences on these from these two. Again, 1/10 of a difference. And the next player, you have been maybe waiting for him. I've mentioned him already a couple times. Initially, when he played, he had a 14 seconds time. However, he did manage to improve by another 1 second to a 13.09. The man himself, I mentioned him multiple times earlier, it is Granadi. Granadi still sticking with his route. Well, let's see where he gained 1 second. Going around here with the wood, a jump up onto the sausage. Very tight end now as well. Flip into the checkpoint, to the finish. So, this is a 13.09. When Granadi initially played it, he had a 14.1, I think. Now, where did he gain 1.1 seconds? Because he didn't change the philosophy of the route. Well, first things first. He found out that you can place a block on the first booster and not get that extreme wheelie at the start and be a little bit faster that way. Second thing he found out is plastic bounce a little bit earlier here, and then you can land like this on the sausage. I absolutely love this small detail, and I really want to give props to Granadi for that. You could just leave this landing on this sausage as it is, but he found out that if he places this wall ride block, exactly here, he lands on this tiny bit of it to just gain a few hundredths of a second, a little bit more speed. And it does gain him, because he gets the wood after, and on wood, famously, you keep the speed usually, you know? So any more speed that you get at the start is really worth it. So really cool optimization there. Then dropping down here, trying to keep the speed into the ramp, wood turn to the left, then better landing here onto the sausage, and also just a really clean line to the right and flip into the finish. Really cool. Really cool strats here from Granadi, coming in with a 13.09. But of course, he was so close to a sub 13. There were people who did manage to get the sub. You always have to push that little bit further. And the next one we're going to take a look at is by Dennis. And it's a 12.99. Just barely getting it at 0.997 by 3,000ths of a second. Gets the sub 13. Let's take a look. He also found the optimal booster at the start. Goes for a turnaround, but look at that turnaround from Dennis. Holy shit, what is that? And then insane wood end as usual. Holy shit, look at this turnaround. He used the booster at the start and then just goes in with a small landing like this, turn around, plastic bounce, and he keeps so much speed actually. That's incredible. That is incredible right here. Drop down, turn around, release a little bit, plastic bounce like that, and he has over 100 speed. Really cool. So cool how much speed he is able to carry through that. Then wood ending once again with the wood across here into the checkpoint. Has so many wood blocks still available at the end and just manages to get it really clean. We can compare this one as well once again if we take a look here against Lucius from earlier. If we take a look from Lucius' point of view, we can see that he did not use the booster at the start. And look at how far Dennis is ahead. However, Lucius uses it now in the turnaround and is able to get a lot more speed, catching up back to Dennis, coming closer here, also having wood at the end, but Dennis is just that little bit too far ahead and stays in front. Really cool differences here. It's a really difficult question. Where do you use the booster? I think in this edition especially, it was not obvious. You could place the booster anywhere in the round and it could be fast. It was not obvious that it's the best at the start. I will see what will actually win. Because, well, this was not enough. Just getting the sub here is not enough. Because we have another one who just got the sub. And it's a new addition as well. It is Firestorm. Very exciting that Firestorm participated as well. Also a fellow OK boy, of course. It is a 1296 from Firestorm. And he, again, does a different turnaround strat. He goes through the middle, as we saw earlier once. Barely anyone did this, but Firestorm, another one with the strat right here. Goes with the booster, jumps across there, over the wood, and then just clean finish. Super clean finish with the wood. Like, he has so much speed at the end. Has to drift around this first part, which loses him a little bit of time. Doesn't use the booster at the start, of course, as well. Goes around like this. Clean transitions here, and then just amazing speed across this. Amazing speed onto the booster. And then wood across this. Turn around. Clean finish. Just like that. We can also compare this one very nicely. It's a 0.96 if we compare it to Dennis. It's a pretty interesting difference because Dennis gains a lot here in the start. He is almost a second ahead into the first checkpoint. Goes around here, and Dennis at this point is so far in front. Let's actually take a look. Where is Dennis right now? Dennis is already here. Like basically 1.5 blocks ahead of Firestorm. However, Firestorm getting the booster now and having great blocks still available for the ending. Then coming across here, and he has so much speed, coming closer, and at the very end, in the last meter of the track, he overtakes. Just like that. I love this comparison between the two. Dennis is so far ahead, but Firestorm just has that little bit of speed and carries it through the entire ending, just like that, and overtakes. And that was a 0.96. Now you might think those were the only 0.9s, but we have more. Stratos also sending in another one. He had a really cool one last time. And once again, he found something really sick, really wicked in this one. It's a 95. 12.95. 100th of a second faster than Firestorm. And just look at this. Just watch this. Gets the booster here. Plastic bounce. Over the sausage, into wood, into plastic bounce with the bug slide. Keeps so much speed across here and finish. Insane. So optimized. I love the tiny details here. Drops onto the downhill at the start. Wait, camera. Drops onto the down here at the start. Then onto the booster. Gets the maximum booster pretty much. Into the checkpoint right here. Plastic bounce. Pretty decent checkpoint time and has a lot of speed. Gets a clean transition here onto the sausage. Like super flat. Then perfect transition onto the wood. Does not have to slow down at all. Then bug slides through the checkpoint. And he has 140 speed after, which is insane. Goes across here, onto the wood, and then just one turn into the finish. And then also here, from this wood, super cool transition onto ramp, plastic bounce finish. Just like that. Super cool, super cool. Also for real, thank you very much for the Prime sub as well. Really appreciate it. But yeah, like, this is crazy. That this is a 12.9 is crazy to me. Because look at the route that he does. He takes these checkpoints here, and then he basically just does a full 180-degree turn, which normally you would never want to do, because you usually would have to slow down so much in this. But he manages to make it work, to get a turnaround like this. Like, he literally goes this and straight backwards again. Really interesting. Really cool by Stratos. However, this is kind of crazy. Stratos had a 12.958. Stratos is not the only one with a 12.958. Because we have another. We have Maxis coming in. Also the first time that he is participating. And he also has the exact same time. A 12.958. Which is so sick to see. The thing is, Maxis sent it in earlier. He sent it in earlier. And now the funny thing with Maxis is, I saw him chatting in the Discord, and he said that his start was obvious. Like, the first 4 blocks in the map are obvious. He's literally the only one with this route. He's the only one. Nobody else tried this route. Literally not a single other person tried this route. And he said it was obvious. I just love it. Alright, but yeah, let's take a look. Drops down, goes to the right checkpoint first, onto the sausage, up here, goes through the checkpoint in reverse, through the middle, ramp transition onto wood, straight back to the left, transition over here onto wood, booster finish. Really cool, really cool. I love the new ideas in this, like, it's so creative. Like, I love the transition onto this. I understand why he thinks that this is, that everybody used this, because, I mean, it's cool. It's really cool, this route. Nice platform downhill onto the sausage, keeping nice speed up with the platform into this checkpoint. Turn around with the wood, keeping all of the speed across this, through the middle, then with the ramp, I love that transition with the ramp, up here onto the wood, nice turn to the left, to the right, and now just jumps across here over the platform, onto the wood to get a tight turn into the finish. The one thing is that he used the booster a little bit late. I think that is the one thing that slows him down a little bit. But the problem is, where would you use the booster in this route? It just doesn't fit. It wouldn't fit to the first checkpoint. And I don't know, maybe it would fit here, but it would be hard. Or here, it would be very difficult to use. I think it was probably the optimal choice in this route to use it here, which makes it very hard. It was almost a no booster route, which is incredible that you got it to this fast, the 12.95. That's not the last 0.9 though, because yet another 100th of a second faster. This is now the 5th 0.9 that we see in a row, and it's a 94. We went from a 997 to a 964 to a 958 to another 958 and now to a 940. And it is a familiar player. He won the last edition. It is Techie. Techie with a 1294. Just barely beating out the other players. Techie coming in. And the funny thing is, on the very last day, Techie improved by like a second. He sent in a replay before with like I think a high 13 or something. On the last day, he improved by 1 second with an improvement to his route. And he is finally going with the red boost route again. We haven't seen it in a while. Gets the checkpoint there, another one here. A lot of wood used across this. Another wood turn. Now red boost into drift finish. That's what he found. That's what he found right here. Did Shorty forget to upload? Shorty did not forget to upload. Techie drops down onto the booster. Then instantly plastic bounces, which is really fast onto the platform here. Just instantly lands, which is super fast. Gets into this really quick, has a lot of speed. From this wood across to another wood block. Then onto this platform, drifts through here. Then onto the booster, gets so much speed. 280 speed right here. Plastic bounce into drift through the checkpoint and finish. Just like that. Gets a 1294. I could have stopped saying just like that. I have said that like 20 times already. I'm trying. Really cool stuff. The problem though with Techie's route, the only thing that I can say is definitely a problem. He uses up all of the wood blocks at the start and then had no wood blocks left at the end. He uses the two straights above each other, actually, exactly above each other, and then also the two turns in this turn right here, in this turn combination, which meant that he had to drift the ending, which, while he got a good drift right here, does slow him down a little bit. Made it very tight. I would say, though, let's take a look at the comparison between them. Also, thanks for the gifted sub to Just Like That, appreciate it. I've never said that before. I don't know why I'm doing it. But yeah, let's take a look. It is this one right here. I still have all of these left from last time, by the way. Alright, let's take a look. I also threw in Granadi, because the funny thing is, all of these guys, well, the first guys are all within 500s, and Granadi is also only a 10th behind them. These are 6 people, 6 times, that are literally within a 10th of each other. And every single one of them does a different route. Every single route is different, which is ridiculous. Dan is getting the checkpoint first, as we saw before. Then it's Stratos. Then we see on the other side Max is getting it. The only one to go for the right checkpoint right here. Then it's Techie, then Granadi, then Firestorm not using the booster at the start. Then we see different lines here. Dennis and Granadi turning to the right, whereas Stratos and Techie go to this checkpoint first of all. Meanwhile, Firestorm going to the right and instantly doing a turnaround. Now Granadi goes somewhere completely different away from the track. Techie coming in here and also We also see Max just turning around just here. Firestorm coming to the checkpoint now from the other side. There's also Stratos going very wide and setting up for this bug slide. Dennis just coming around here, finally doing an uphill into this checkpoint. And finally, we will also see everybody meet now. There's Granadi coming from the right line, then Maxis, Firestorm, and Stratos going with a different line. Going around here, grabbing only the last checkpoint. They're all meeting here. Then they come through the checkpoint and they also meet with Techie from the other side as well. Techie also landing now here. All of them meeting at the same spot. Firestorm is at the moment at the last place, but he has the most speed out of everybody. They're all coming through the last checkpoint here. It's super spread apart, to be honest, between them. Looking at this. And Stratos coming through the checkpoint now, a little bit later. But now they're all moving towards the finish. And let's just take a look at this. Because of different speeds, different angles, and watching. Who is finishing first? It is Techie. Then Maxis and Stratos at the exact same time. Okay, actually it's all of them at the exact same time apparently. It is Stratos and Firestorm. Stratos and Maxis at the exact same time, coming from different sides. Then Firestorm, they all replays stop at the same point. Then Dennis. And then there's also Granadi here. Granadi also coming in from the other side. Super close, like incredibly close between everybody here. It's honestly cinema. Honestly cinema. That's the Avengers shot, kinda, yeah. Incredible. But none of them were fast enough to win. None of them were fast enough to win though. Because we still have more. Nilini coming in. Next one. With a .85. Another 1/10 of a second faster than everybody else. And he goes for the red boost route that we saw earlier from Techie. Instant plastic bounce into ramp, saving a wood block right here, dropping down over 2 times sausage, plastic bounce onto wood into finish. What a crazy route found by Nilini here. What a crazy route. Booster here into plastic bounce, instant ramp, then jumping into this platform block, saving a wood block compared to Techie, for example. Dropping down here onto the bottom on this. Then I love this double sausage block mixed in here. Like, look at this. Like, that is so clever. I love it. It's tiny margins that this makes it faster, but it's really sick, really sick. Then through the booster, keeping the speed, and then a nice plastic bounce as well towards the finish. Wood turn, 1 turn left, and there you go. There you go. Nilini taking in .85. However, we have another one with 1/10 of a second faster. It is Yasunio. And it's another first-time participant of the puzzle competition. And the crazy thing is, I saw him improve like 6 times. He sent in 6 different replays, I think. And this one, he sent in the last minute. He had like 20 seconds to spare. He sent it in at 23:59:40 at the very end. It didn't change his position though. He would have still been on the same position. But he improved 6 times, which is really cool to see the improvements throughout the entire week. So he goes up and does the red boost route as well. Going for the plastic bounce there into the ramp. Now drop down into the wood turn. Another wood turn here. We've seen it before. Then into platform and jumps. Just jumps. Look at that. How simple is this? He just jumps from all the way here onto wood and to the finish. Just like that. Easy. You don't need any blocks. Just jump. Lol. That's so clever. So clever. Saves so many blocks, and with that, like, he only used 2 wood blocks here in the start. This turn and this turn. Which means that at the very end, he has both wood blocks still available. And can get a really fast finish like that. Really creative, really cool. And like, it really shows just how OP the wood is. Just how much speed you can keep. Like, this line is ridiculous. While wood is really cool, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna use wood next puzzle competition because it is very overpowered. I have found out, very overpowered. Next time we will not have wood. We will not have wood. We will have some other cool stuff. I gotta mix it up a little bit. Even though that is an incredible run here by Yasunio, first time participating, it was not enough though. We have another familiar face coming in next. It is a Smithy with a 0.68, another 500ths of a second faster. And it is also the comeback of the Granadi route. We see the Granadi route again right here. Smithy with the Granadi route. And something very special is he does not use the booster at the start. He goes with the wood across here over platform and uses the booster only now. And then gets incredible speed for the finish, wood and flip spin into the finish. I love this tiny transition here at the start. We have not seen it before. Just from the platform down here onto sausage like this, then onto the wood, drive around here, across the platform, through the checkpoint, another wood block here to get a nice turn, only one, because that was enough, and he is able to save a wood block in comparison to other players that use the same route. Then incredible speed here over the sausage, plastic bounce onto the wood, keeps so much speed, and then just flip into the finish like that. Smithy coming in with a 68. However, just again, he was not the fastest with the Granadi route. The literally next player, another first-time participant, Soulbour, is 13,000 faster. 13,000 faster, also with the Granadi route. And do you guys recognize the start? This start right here. We have seen it before. Once. At the very start. It was like 5th last place, I think. Used this block, this booster at the start. But it is actually fast. Soulbour uses it as well. And starts off like this. Gets the booster and keeps driving flat. Driving around the wood, going a little bit more inside here, then plastic bounce onto the platform, tight line over the wood, and into the finish. Incredible. Incredible lines right here by Soulbour. Also really well driven, I think. It doesn't maybe look as fast because he's not driving as fast, but that's just because he's taking less distance. He's driving less distance right here. And this ending, I want to showcase just how difficult this ending is that he drove. Take widest line possible over the wood, through the turn, and then get this as tight as possible around the platform. It is so difficult, but it gains a lot of time if you get it right. It gains so much time. And I would say let's take a comparison between the two. Smithy and a Soulbour. Let us take a look from Smithy's point of view. So, they are doing two different lines here, of course, at the start. Smithy is dropping down onto the platform at the beginning, driving across here. Soulbour taking the booster, and they're basically at the same spot right here. Smithy a little bit ahead, doing the transition like that. Now, going a little bit wider though. You can see Soulbour gaining because of the inside line. Then, Smithy taking the booster here, going up. Now gets way more speed than Soulbour, catching back up. It's really close between them. So close between them, in fact. And now turning around. Let's take it into the slow motion. Smithy has a lower speed, but now flips towards the finish. And let's take a look in Cam 7. Because this is so close. It is a Smithy still ahead, still ahead, still ahead, still ahead, still ahead, still ahead. And Soulbour overtakes. Literally in the last meter of the track again. He somehow overtakes by 13,000ths of a second. Incredible. Also first time chatter. Took me a lot of time, to be honest. Yeah, that's really cool to see. First time chatter as well. That's nice. Incredible. So close between you guys. It has just been incredibly close. We have seen so many sub 13 seconds times, unbelievable. We had 0.99, 0.96, 0.95, 95, 94, then 85, 73, 68, 66. However, the next spot is a whole 0.3 of a second faster. As a familiar face. It is Shorty with a 0.36. 3/10 faster. And how does he do it? We can see already that he's starting with the optimal booster placement right here. And he's going with the red boost strat. Let us take a look. Lands perfectly in the ramp. Then over the wood. Lands on another wood block. Then platform. Roof it into its tight turn finish. Uses the best start combination possible into the first checkpoint. Gets it at 3.3 seconds, but lands on a ramp to get a little bit more speed. Then uses the wood blocks here to keep a lot of speed from one wood block to the next wood block right here. And then through the red boost, a jump up. And I want you guys to take a look at this combination right here. It's a reuse. Shorty did a reuse. He drives over this wood block once, right here on top, and then comes around the other side and does a roof it on it. Isn't that amazing? That is so cool. I love it. And then just a very tight turn here. Does not have wood available at the very end, but gets just a super tight turn by having all 3 blocks of these still at the very end. Turn around and into the finish. A point 36. Really optimized. But you might be able to see the number on Shorty's car right now. It is a number 2. However, he did not get second. I'm baiting. That was a bait. He did not get second. Shorty not second this time around. There's more. There's more. Because the next player is just another 700s faster. 700s faster. It is Zamos. Zamos coming in with another 300s to a point 29. He starts the same way. You might think that it's the same line as Shorty. However, he does the Granadi route again. He jumps onto wood, to the right, over the ramp, onto wood right here, over sausage, onto another sausage block, wood turn to the right, more wood, and then plastic bounce finish. Insane. Insane plastic bounce in the end. Absolutely insane. Gets the perfect boost at the start, then around here with the wood, keeping speed, trying to go super inside across this, to the left. It's incredible. Like, which line of these is fastest? Like, I don't know, honestly. It's crazy how... Okay, I do know. Never mind. But it's incredibly close between these two lines. Which one will win? Is it the red boost line or is it the Granadi line? Which one will win? But it's super close here. Zemos taking the 2 wood blocks onto the wall right. And then look at this nasty plastic bounce that he got. He keeps so much speed with it. So much speed. It's insane. Like, it's actually insane. Oh, the respawn route. It's surely the respawn route. Let's compare. Let us compare this between the two. Because they are, of course, doing different lines. But let us take a look. Let us take a look at the difference. So, both of them using the same block at the start, of course, the booster into the first checkpoint on the left. Now Zemos going to the right, of course, whereas Shorty goes to this checkpoint. Zemos taking the white line here around. Shorty also going around, grabbing the booster now. Then Zemos coming back into this. Gets the checkpoint now. Slightly ahead of Shorty. Shorty has more speed though. They are rejoining right here. Right next to each other. Shorty is ahead. He is ahead right now. Coming to the last turn. Using similar blocks right here. However, the plastic bounce by Zamos was just too strong. He gets more speed and overtakes Shorty by 700ths of a second. However, I already said that Shorty was not second. So even this great effort by Zamos was not quite enough to win. Because, just like earlier, the next player, this was a point 29, is 3/10 faster once again. It is Search Tail with a point 03. Another 3/10 faster. Let's take a look. 3/10 faster. Well, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? Let's take a look. Let us take a look. He did not use just one sausage block to clip in at the start. He used two. First of all, Surge Tail at the very start already starts a little bit offset, as you can see here. Normally you would start in the middle. He starts a little bit to the left and forward. And he also clips, through the block right here. You see the small clip? He does a small clip. This alone already gains him a tenth of a second. That is 1/10 that he gains from that. But that's not everything. He goes for the red boost thread. Plastic bounce immediately onto the ramp, keeping great speed across here from one wood block to the next wood block. Red boost, and also found the jump. Tight turn around the finish, and gets it. It is a 12.03 by a Surge Day, another 3/10 faster. He is able to keep just that tiny bit more speed here at the start, into the ramp, like that, then across over the wood, jump into this wood block, the turn to the right, and just jump. Just jump. Just jump into the wood, keep the speed. He has 200 speed here, which is crazy. And then tight turn around and finish. He actually keeps a fair bit amount of speed. At first I thought this ending would be slow with this turn. He is driving over penalty after all. But no, it's actually really good the way he gets through there. Let's take a look at the comparison between Surge Tail and Shorty, I would say. So, first of all, we see Surge Tail starting a little bit differently to Shorty. Let us properly take a look in Cam 7. Shorty will get the booster earlier though, and will be ahead into the first checkpoint. However, Surge Tail has more speed. Also, he is one block higher up, which gives him a little bit more potential energy in a way. He has a little bit more height, which can be useful sometimes. Can also be bad, but also can be useful. Then going tight around here, you can see the better speed that Surge Tail has overtaking Shorty. When we looked here, Shorty was still in the lead, but with the extra speed coming around the turn, Surge Tail is multiple car lengths ahead. Then coming around the turn, Surge Tail also jumping further right. Here they use the same block to land on. And Surge Tail at this point is already almost 3/10 of a second faster than Shorty. Then they use the same block here, of course, over the red boost. Then Surge Tail just, I was a little bit too fast. Surge Tail literally just jumps, whereas Shorty does the nice ramp into roof hit combination. What is faster? It's the jump. The jump is actually faster. Just lands and is finding himself in the lead. Then, of course, they do slightly different lines here. Surge Tail driving around like this, super close to the block, whereas Shorty goes below into the finish with a small jump. And the ending comes out pretty similar, but Surge Tail also still ahead. A 12.03 by Surge Tail. Incredible run. But if you're that close to a sub 12, sometimes you just gotta push that a little bit harder and get the sub, because you know someone else will. It is with just 1/1000th of a second to spare. A 0.998, a sub 12 seconds time by Isfo. A 0.998. He needed the sub. And he also goes with this route. And look at these transitions at the start. Keeping his speed over the wood, going for the red boost here as well, and doing a plastic bounce there into insane two-wheel and finish. Look at this. Look at this insane line right here. First of all, the start, super clean transitions. If we take a look at it. Does the optimal booster block at the start, then transition right here onto the ramp, clean transition from the ramp onto this sausage block, onto the next sausage block, saves a wood block for the finish. That is important right here. If you remember Shorty from earlier, he used 2 wood blocks in the start, whereas Isfo doesn't use them at all and then has them at the end for this insane turn. Which will gain him a lot. But even still, the start, really fast here, can jump super inside into this wood turn. Turn around here, then close through this. We saw the same block used multiple times through the red boost, over the platforms right here, and then drift into plastic bounce, two-wheel. Like you literally only have grip with one tire. Like it's literally only one tire on the wood block, but somehow you don't lose speed from that. Goes around and into the finish, and it is just barely 11.998. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Also, thanks, Ernst, for the resub. But he was not the only one with the 0.99. Well, if you wanna get the sub, you might think that other people are also going for the sub. And if you only have a 998, well, there might be somebody who has a little bit better. And with just 6,000ths of a second, it's Imperator. Imperator, once again. Just 6,000ths of a second, it's a 992. Also going with the red boost thread. Plastic bounce here, onto the ramp. Once again, we have seen it before. With the wood, to the right, turning like this. Through the platform, then plastic bounce as well. Turn around to finish. And there you go. It is a 12 in 11.992. 6,000ths of a second. 6,000ths of a second separating the two. It's so close between them. Incredibly close. And it's so similar turns. So similar turns across them. It's just tiny differences between the two routes. Plastic bounce here, land, and then turn around. Let's take a look at the comparison. Let us take a look at this comparison, because we need this comparison with a Surge Tail, Ease4, and Imperator. Let's take a look. So, we have different strats here. We have Ease4 instantly going for the booster, whereas Imperator and Surge Tail don't get the booster immediately. You can see the start shenanigans by Surge Tail, right here, the best probably. Surge Tail starting differently, a little bit ahead, and then here, once again, just bugs through the wall and skips forward. However, then they also basically use the same booster here, same plastic bounce, and land in the ramp. Ease4 with a different line, is faster into the first checkpoint, has a little bit less speed though than the others, and will get overtaken, get swallowed up by Surge Tail and Imperator. Surge Tail at the moment in the lead. It is super close between the three players coming around. They have the exact same blocks here, jumping across. Now Surge Tail going for the big jump instantly onto the to the last checkpoint, whereas Imperator and Ease4 drive the turn into the ramp plastic bounce, both finding the same strat right here. Coming around the last turn, it's super close between all three of them. It is Surge Tail in the lead, but then he has to do a drift across the penalty. Then Ease4 going a little bit wider, Imperator getting a bit tighter of a line. And just by the skin of his teeth, overtakes Ease4 by 6,000ths of a second. And then Surge Tail coming in with a 0.03. And now I think it's pretty clear to say that the red boost line was the fastest from everybody. We have seen the last three all using this line. It is pretty obvious that this one is the fastest. You would think. You would think. Because one man, a myth, a legend, playing on his laptop, currently on vacation, who I know for a fact improved his time on the very last day by over a second. The Safemeister. With a completely different line coming in with a 95. It is Marius 89 TM. Let's take a look. He goes to the right side, down, plastic bounce with the bug slide, another plastic bounce right here, goes through the last two checkpoints, around the checkpoint, and finish. That's it, in 11.95. How in the world does he even get the checkpoint right here? We have not even seen this line before, a single time. He barely gets the checkpoint. He bug slides over penalty, gets the checkpoint like this with a plastic bounce, goes onto wood, onto the booster here with a very smooth transition. Then plastic bounces, keeps all of his speed through these parts. The big thing about this route is He is so efficient with the route. He does not waste any distance. Whereas the others who went for the red boost route, they do a long spiral around here. They're basically driving away from where they want to go. Marius does very efficient route management here with this line. Goes through this transition right here. Beautiful transition once again here from the wood onto the sausage. Clean transition. Then from the sausage, tied around here over the platform. And super close with the checkpoint. It's incredibly close around here. Wood turn into the finish. It is a 95. And with that, Marius managed to get the fastest run from you guys. A .95 and beating out all the others with a .95, 400s faster than Imperator. And let us take a look at the comparison between you guys. Between Marius and Imperator. Here we go. Let's take a look. So, Marius, of course, going down to the right, wants to grab the booster here. Wants to grab the first checkpoint on the right side. However, does not use the booster at the start. Imperator already has it, already goes up to a lot of speed. Already reached the checkpoint now at 3.5 seconds. Marius gets it at 4 seconds. Then goes around here, grabs the booster. Meanwhile, Imperator already got the next checkpoint already. Around here, gets the booster now into the checkpoint. Is at 6.6 seconds. Reaches checkpoint number 2. Imperator at 6.8 seconds is in checkpoint 3 already. However, Marius is ahead on track. He is ahead on track. Imperator has to turn around with the red boost. Has a lot more speed now. Marius coming through the turn at this point. Into the checkpoint. He's still ahead. Going into the last checkpoint right here. And they're so close to each other. Who is getting this checkpoint first? It is Imperator with just his nose pretty much. He gets it at 45. Whereas Marius gets it at what? 47? 48? But then, coming around the last turn, Marius has a super clean line with this wood turn. And into the finish. And just that tiny bit ahead of Imperator. As you can see right here. Marius finishes now. And then Imperator finishes. However, the competition is not done yet. Because, as you might remember, I participate as well. I also hunt, just like you guys do. And to actually win, you don't just have to beat everyone else. You also have to beat me. You also have to beat myself. And let's see if Marius was able to do so. So, the thing for this is, if Marius has a faster time than me, he goes home with 100 euros. Wins the 100 euros and the puzzle competition. If he doesn't, if I win instead, if I have the fastest time, the 100 euros goes to next month and we will have 200 euros instead. Last time, Techie won by just 9 thousandths of a second. Let's take a look at what I found. Here we go. Now you might wonder at the start, it is not the red boost thread. It is not a response thread. It is not Marius thread either. It's another completely different line again. It's completely different. Nobody else used this thread. And here we go. Land on the platform, downhill, then bump across onto the wood, turn around with the wood, another wood turn right here, onto the booster, plastic bounce, through the last checkpoint, wood, tight turn around here, and finish. So let's take a look at this route once again, a little bit shorter. So, starting off, platform downhill, then bump across here, onto the wood, tight turn around this, have to do a small release, onto the wood, from one wood block, onto another wood block, then through the booster right here, plastic bounce, onto the sausage, downhill, super close to that, and then around here, super tight line, and into the finish. I wanna also show this finish one more time, because look at my finish. I clip the border of the wall and I get a small tap to the right. There are a few special things about this route that I can show you guys before. we compare. First of all, I'm going downhill here. This downhill, if you're not using the booster, it is the optimal way to gain speed. Then a small bump was needed right here to get across to the wood block. Then just one downhill right turn through this. These wood blocks are a little bit offset, so you have to go a little bit extra wide to not clip on these. Basically, I just did complete wood abuse at the start and basically placed myself a complete wood platform here. Then the booster, you want a very nice nosedive as you hit the roof onto the sausage. Then drive around here. This sausage block in this position is a very nice downhill, going downhill like this onto the wood, and then just super tight line around here, placing another sausage block in between this platform and this wood for a little bit of a better transition. Let's watch it one more time. Downhill, platform, wood, to the right, to the left, booster, uphill, plastic bounce, wood, and finish. What do you think? Who is faster? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's get Mario's replay in. And let's compare. So, we're starting off, both of us not using the booster at the start. I am going to the left, Mario's going to the right. The first checkpoint, Marius gets it at 3.8 seconds, whereas I get it at 3.8 low seconds, basically, at a 3.83. Marius gets it at 3. He gets it at an 89, right here. Then, continuing, I go around this checkpoint, whereas Marius just did a very tight turnaround, going up now over the booster. We're meeting across here and going into the next checkpoint. Who is gonna get checkpoint 2 as the first player? Marius gets it now, 6.6. Where am I? Also getting the checkpoint at 6.6 at the exact same time into checkpoint 2. Then going up, Marius already has the booster right now, so he has a little bit more speed. I only get the booster now at 7 seconds. 7 seconds into the run, I first use the booster block. Then do the plastic bounce. Marius gets into the checkpoint now, checkpoint 3. He is quite a bit ahead. He gets it at 8.6 seconds. I get it now at 8.7. He is about 0.2 of a second faster, in fact. Then one last turn remaining. We go across this. Marius going to the left. I'm going to the right. We use the exact same wood block right here. I use it in this direction, whereas Marius uses it in this direction. I'm a slight bit ahead into the last checkpoint. Coming around the last turn. And it is... me with the faster time. GG. It's a .82. A .82 with the fastest time. Beating out Marius by 1300ths of a second. 1300ths of a second. Oh my god. There you go. GG, guys. GG on puzzle competition number 2. Valiant effort from everybody. It's just amazing that the top 3 in the end had 3 different rounds. I really was not expecting it. I really was not expecting it. There you go. That was the difference. That was the difference. Completely different line that actually nobody else managed to find. GG to Marius. Sadly, second place. But for the next time, there will be 200 euro on the line. These 100 euros are not lost. However, they are going to next month, where there will be 200 euro for the winner. However, if I win that one again, then it will be 300 euro, and so on and so forth. None of the money gets lost. It only goes to the next month every time. GG. GG. Also, I want to say, I had a .90 after 10 minutes of trying, and I spent like 2 hours trying to improve to that 82. I literally spent like 2 hours on that. After I had with my router .90 after 10 minutes or so. I want to show you guys the comparison as well with my old one, because there you can see the difference really nicely. If you take a look at this, this is my .90 that I was just mentioning. It is basically the same run until the very end, but then I didn't get this clip, and this clip is so illegal. Look at this. Tiny clip, and that is 800ths of a second faster. Would have still been enough, but very close. It would have been very close. It's insane to me that all of these lines ended up at the exact same time, basically. It's incredible. I hope you had fun. This was puzzle competition number 2. A very difficult map, I must say. It was definitely a very difficult map right here. Yo, thank you, Terrence. Thank you very much. Appreciate it as well. Also, Simbrin earlier with the tier 3 as well. Thank you as well. Now you guys can do the things. Appreciate you guys. Of course, it's a lot of work to get everything ready. I can show you as well, real quick. If I have time here, I can show you all the top 20 against each other as well. I have collected the top 20 right here in one replay. So let's take a look. Where we can see the comparison. I have actually not looked at it yet. So we have all of them starting differently, of course. There are a few people starting to the left, few people starting flat, some people dropping down, some people taking the booster immediately. So you see some different lines. There are a few going to the right. Mario is the only one going with this line, of course. Then around here, into the checkpoint, there are a total of 2 going with my line, Firestorm and myself. Mario is the only one who did this turnaround. There are a few going the turnaround, the Granadi line. Then there are, of course, all of the people who go for the red booster line right here. It's Surgetail, Imperator, Shorty, Techie, Isfo, Stratos, Nilin, and Yasunio as well. It was 63 in total, 63 valid submissions this time around. Also, by the way, after this, we're gonna continue a little bit on viewer challenges thing. I think we'll do a little bit more viewer challenges afterwards. So look forward to that as well. I'm not gonna end just yet. It was about a bit over 2 hours, which I think makes sense because this map was a little bit more complicated. It was crazy, actually. All of these top 20 runs, like, they were amazing. The top 20th, by the way, is Rockskater with a 13.2, which is so close. It's so close between everyone. Also, thanks Nils Klaver as well. Now here, we come ahead. Dennis and Marius are actually the closest, the first persons here, first players here. And it's also me into this one. Then you have Sobur, Zemaus, all of the ones from the Granadi route. Then, of course, you have other players here coming back into this route. Surgetail actually ahead of me at this point. However, I had that slightly better line into the finish. And here's the finish. So it is first me finishing, then Marius in front of Imperator, Isfo, Surgetail. Then we have Zemaus and Shorty. Then flipping into the finish, we have Smithy and Soulbur as well. Then Yasunio on the other side. Then we have all of these guys with the 0.9s. Before that, we still had Nilini. Then all of the 0.9s from, I believe, Techie, Stratos, Maxus, Firestorm, and Dennis. Then we have Granadi, then Lucius, Mr. 3, and also Rockskater. GG. There we go. GG to everyone. It was really fun, I think. I really enjoyed this one. Really enjoyed this one. It was really cool. I hope you enjoyed it too. And if you thought that was fun, maybe you want to participate next time around as well.